We've all fallen guilty of this, myself included, where we think we need to make these specific types of videos before we can actually make the videos that we want to make. Some channels have literally brute force growth by making low-hanging fruit videos talking about more searchable topics, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at what point do you say enough is enough and I want to make the videos that I want to make? I've witnessed two YouTubers do this successfully on their channels, and now they have both broken the YouTube algorithm. And they did it in the most unconventional way possible, by being themselves. The two creators I'm talking about are Wendigoon and Film Booth. Two completely different channels, but one similar philosophy. They make videos that they actually want to make. They don't make videos based on YouTube standards. So today we're not going to be doing a deep dive onto these channels. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be analyzing why their channels are so successful and how you can actually apply this make whatever you want philosophy that they do to your channel. So who the heck is Wendigoon? How did this dude go from making random videos to actually collaborating with Mr. GG and is quickly approaching 500,000 subscribers in less than 6 months? He is most notably known as the Iceberg Guy. If you're unfamiliar with iceberg videos, basically they're just a tier list system. What we know about icebergs in real life is that they typically get larger as they go down further into the water. If you take a look at Wendigoon's most popular video, which is the disturbing movie Iceberg, the idea is that the top of the iceberg is movies that you typically see in theaters, and as you go down the iceberg, you get to more gradually disturbing movies. Now, he didn't just start making these videos based on TubeBuddy or vidIQ telling him that these video topics are super searchable. He started making the videos because he actually enjoyed looking into the topics and actually doing the research and actually talking about it on YouTube. It took a little while of him making multiple different iceberg videos for the video that I talked about exploding and actually putting him in the limelight, and boom, he's here today. What can you learn from this and actually apply to your video? The first thing is to not give up on an idea or a topic too quickly. You never know, you could be making videos on a topic and the videos just aren't doing very well, and then you make that one video and then boom, you're pushed into stardom. Wendigoon is one of the best examples of this, because what if he decided just to chase the growth on YouTube and actually just stop making the iceberg videos? Because let's be real, at the time they weren't really a highly searched topic on YouTube. They eventually became one because of him and several other creators, but the main thing is that he could have actually gone after things that were technically more searchable, but he wouldn't have actually been making videos probably that he really overall cared about. The second thing you can take away from this is the consistency, the vibe, and the theme of his video. He's not using a fancy camera like this, and he's not using a fancy microphone like this. He's just some dude in his room with a crappy Yeti microphone talking about conspiracy videos. The big takeaway here is that yes, the fancy cameras and microphones are great for us as creators because it allows us to get more consistency with our videos, and it's also appealing to the viewers as a whole. I think that's one of the biggest things about him that I find so interesting. He kind of mirrors exactly how YouTube used to be back in 2010, where it didn't really matter what type of gear you were using. It really mattered about the type of content you were making and whether it was interesting or not. Another thing we can learn from him is that the vibes you give off on camera really do matter. It really seems like that friend you could talk to for hours just about all sorts of crazy stuff and never get bored. The reason why he's able to do this so effortlessly is because of the fact that he enjoys what he's talking about in his videos. The third thing of note is that he just keeps rolling with the punches. A lot of times what I've seen is YouTubers that get this huge wave of success overcompensate and actually change too much, and it ends up turning off their new viewers or the people that were watching their videos before. Wendigoon just keeps doing what he's doing. He makes the same kind of videos. He does little pivots every so often. Some of them work, some of them don't, but overall he stays on the narrative that he's built on, and then he doesn't really change the style of his videos too much. Sure, of course, in the future he's probably going to get a better microphone. He's probably going to get a better camera, maybe even build himself a set, but the one thing that he's done here in the beginning that's super important is just to keep doing what he's doing, making the same great content that he's passionate about, because that's how he's going to build the foundation for his audience. Who the heck is Film Booth? How has Film Booth gone from being a stereotypical YouTube growth channel to now having heavy storytelling and B-roll driven content that teaches you how to create better videos? Take this video for example. He could have just made a tutorial video like I did on my channel talking about how to actually make a good YouTube thumbnail, but what he did instead is he spent several weeks recreating from the ground up popular thumbnails that you see on YouTube and documenting the whole process step by step. There are countless examples on his channel of him taking a simple concept like adding audio or sound effects to your videos, but what he does is he makes it way more engaging in every type of way. So what are the biggest things you can learn from Film Booth? The first thing is to not be scared to pivot within your own niche. What a lot of people didn't see was right around this video right here, he decided enough was enough with these stereotypical growth and tutorial videos. He took a big chance by uploading less and focusing more on creating content that was dramatically different than the other channels in his niche. And honestly, at first his videos didn't do the greatest, but the one thing you could tell immediately was that he was much happier making these style of videos, and he's been sticking with it ever since. And all that build up and hard work led to this video right here, and this video has absolutely exploded, and the other videos on his channel are starting to explode as well. The biggest takeaway here is that just like Wendigoon, if he would have just kept doing the same things he was doing with the YouTube growth advice and the highly searchable things on his channel, he would have never actually created the content that he's creating now, and he would have never had the growth that he has now. The second thing you can take away from this is you need to be an epic authentic storyteller. This is a big struggle for a lot of people, even myself when I'm actually scripting out my videos, but the thing you have to keep in mind is you don't have to create these stories that have dragons and wizards and stuff in them. You just need to make a cohesive story that actually flows very well and actually has a really good narrative attached to it. You need to plan the beginning, middle, and end and add some twist in there to throw the audience off and actually give them something unexpected. With great storytelling in mind, one of the things that Film Booth does really well is he actually plans for the edit. So everything he does, from scripting to shooting to everything, actually is designed for the edit. The third thing you can learn from him is you don't sit still. Quite the opposite of Wendigoon, Film Booth has a lot of moving pieces in his video. You definitely don't have to do exactly what he does, but the idea is that you should be one-upping and trying to do something different in each one of your videos. When you're planning your videos, try to find ways to get yourself out of your comfort zone. Maybe filming some B-roll or adding some footage that you don't normally add into your video. Maybe you try to do some acting. Maybe you just switch film locations every so often to keep the viewer on their toes so they don't know what to expect. The point is just shake it up and try some different things. The fourth thing is to make weird and different thumbnails and titles for your videos. It's easy to whip out vidIQ and then type in and look for the most searchable title for your videos and just put that in there. But it's really hard to create titles that actually jump off the screen and make you want to click onto the video. That's one thing Film Booth does really well, is all the titles for his videos are not SEO friendly, but at the end of the day, they all jump off the screen and make you want to click on it. Same thing with his thumbnails. A lot of his thumbnails aren't really traditional, but they do jump off the screen and actually make you want to click on it. So ultimately, what's the most actionable advice I can give you from Wendigoon and Film Booth that can actually help you make the content that you want to make on YouTube? The biggest things are you just need to be different, maybe even a little weird, but most of all, you need to find ways to be original and stand out. You have to be creative and pick some weird topics to increase the interest while also being passionate about the topics that you're talking about. YouTubers back in the day also didn't have fancy equipment. They just used what they had and ended up just creating amazing videos all the time. Experiment by taking your content to the next level with B-roll, changing filming locations, trying different styles of thumbnails and odd titles for your videos, and ultimately, be fearless with your content. Both these creators have very different channels, but they have the same common denominator. They are both different from other creators around them, and you need to strive to do that as well. Something else different is what you're seeing on screen right now, which is where I re-edited my worst edited video and actually went over 6 editing mistakes I made in that video that you can learn from. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.